the woman out, so now these kids are left alone. So if you have babysitters or uncles or aunts and neighbors come by at your kids, that gives the enemy an open invitation to your children to do what they want. So that's the enemy has done this. It's not God, but we have allowed the enemy to come in and do these things because we got to make money for our families. We got to do this. Yeah, within perspective, but you got to understand that God set an order, and when we break that order, the enemy's gonna come in and destroy what God created.
That's right.
God, go on and continue to read, brother. Right, this thing is getting good.
But today, whether children are brought up by a male, female couple, single parent mother, or more rarely by a single parent father, it says about or more rarely.
Yeah, more rarely.
I picked that up. But a single parent father or a same-sex couple, they are all marred by a wilder society riven by inequity of classes, sex, and race.
That's right.
Inequalities of class,
that's
sex,
right.
and race.
Right. Okay, that's right. So basically, we can start right there on that one. So that just tells you right there, capitalism and family, the destruction of the family structure, the break up the family structure has created that open door. And I've always told you, where we leave a crack open, that's where the enemy gonna come in. The more you allow a crack to be there, he's gonna make it to a hole. That's how he does. And that's where he comes in to destroy. Because the scripture said that the enemy came to steal, to kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, I came that you may have life, John 10:10, that you may have life and have it what? More abundantly. There it is. Praise be to God. Okay, let's go through the types of molestation, Brother Dwight.
You have innocent molestation.
Yes.
Millions of babies and children are molested by thoughtless mothers, fathers, and babysitters.
That's right.
For example, who touch the baby's private parts while changing a diaper or perhaps while bathing or dressing the baby. Many do not realize that they are molesting the child they are molesting the child to even touch these areas.
That's correct, sir.
Some go farther and tickling or otherwise play with a baby's penis or vagina area to make the baby laugh and giggle. They do not realize that this is a molestation and needs to stop.
That's right. Absolutely right. And we know, and I don't know the right person, but I know it happens. It happens because they think it's cute. And it's not cute because that can have a lasting effect. And we talked about this, about the touch thing in our message a couple of months ago. That child picks up signals through certain types of touch.
That's right.
And that baby, don't think that baby forget that. Even though you think he's small and young, or the boy or the girl, but they can remember that stuff, and that can be a lasting effect on their life as they get older.
They said actually the studies show from a professional standpoint that when babies are born, they said the touch is helping the baby to connect to the world.
Yes, that's correct.
So
absolutely.
the way you're touching the baby,
that's right.
You are connected that baby to into different things. And the scriptures tell us that you was born into iniquity.
Antiquity and shaped in sin. That's right.
So that you know that
that's right.
The way that just self-explanatory.
That's right. Absolutely right. All right, let's go down to the next one.
What's that? Deprived molestation.
That's right.
It says this occurs when an older person intentionally talks with a young child about sexual matters or intentionally uses one's authority, size, reputation, or something else to upset and harm another person, usually a child.
Stop right there. So that makes, go ahead.
So that is like self-explanatory. If you're not talking to your child or to a child about, as far as sexual things, as far as from a productive way, like encouraging them and educating them.
That's right.
And when it's outside of that, as far as trying to talk about it, try to lead your way, that's a form of molestation.
That's right. It is. So much true, and that can affect you. So you got two right there. First one was innocent, and the next one is deprived. And what's the third one, Brother Dwight?
Rape and incest.
Yes, rape and incest. Go ahead, brother.
These, I'll just read the first one. These, of course, are violent criminal acts, mainly against women. They occur all too commonly, and many too times. So that's basically just forcing your taking something without someone's consent.
Yes, that's right. Forcing yourself upon them.
Yes. Sexual act.
That's right. And sexual gratification. We talk about that thing. We got a lot of hits on that. That sexual gratification thing with men.
That's right.
Through sight and stuff like that. We talked about that. So if y'all have not listened to that broadcast, go back and check it out under sexual gratification. All right. It's in there, dealing with some of these acts. Now we even getting deeper now, but that thing will lead into this. So it's a good thing to go back and listen to that broadcast. I think it's very, very powerful. All right, let's go through a few symptoms of molestation. And we can just call those out, Brother Dwight. You can go through those real quickly.
You have intense anger.
Okay.
Either constantly expressed or hidden.
Yes.
Pelvic syndrome.
Yes, that's in the pelvic area. If you don't know where that is, the vagina area or the penis area. If there's been sexual acts with that child, he's going to have pain there. Okay, there's going to be pain there, and you need to be very aware of that because that can cause major problems later on. Bladder infections, colon problems, rectal problems. All that in that area, if that child, because a child at that age is not fully developed.
That's right.
You see, and a child can be really abused physically and harmed within the inside of the cavity of the anal or the vagina area because of the forced entry from somebody or something that may be used for the sexual pleasure or molestation of that person. It can really affect them. So be very, very careful, and your antenna should go up about these people that are in your house, okay, and that you're entertaining to help take care of your children. All right.
Fidget,
fatigue, meaning tired,
exhaustion, and depression.
Yes.
And I think that's always depressing, and it's sad that it creates shame and guilt, and sometimes depression come upon you for a while. As far as well, I just feel bad about myself because that happened.
That's right. And some people, and you look at this, a lot of loners. So you see a lot of the killings that men. They always say, you hear about these spree killings. They said that he was alone. He always kept to himself. 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna say I better not put it that high. Generally speaking, some of those children have been molested somewhere along the line because the isolation, because that draws them back out of it, because they don't want to seem, they don't want to be talked about, they don't want to be looked upon differently. So they withdraw themselves, and they don't understand because they have an identity crisis. So they feel that they're going to force themselves on others by killing somebody to let somebody know who I really am. So be very, very careful about that. I'll read the middle part there, Brother White. It is important to know that sexually transmitted infections in women especially do not remain in the genital area. Many of them slowly spread throughout the body and attack all organs, especially the brain, of some reason. They include varieties of syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, and other viruses, genital warts, and others. These will cause fatigue, there it goes back again, depression, and often brain fog, among many other symptoms. So women as well as boys can be affected by this. You can get these symptoms and these diseases if molestation is present, sexual abuse is present. You may not notice it right away, parents or guardians, but these things you need to keep your eyes open to, your ears open, because if your child is being abused and you're not aware of it, look for the symptoms. Look for the symptoms. You see some of these things we have talked about this evening, that should key you in. Something is not right.
That's right.
Okay? Go to the last 4, 5, and 6, brother, and then we'll skip on down.
Right. Prone and muscle intention, cardiovascular problems, such as silence and corpse. I'm sorry.
Where? Oh, scoliosis.
Scoliosis.
Back problems.
And
key force.
Fears and phobia. You have sexual imbalance and sexual identity problems.
We talked about that.
Poor eliminated pattern.
That's right. Eliminated meaning something within the brain. It's not taking what you need to be able to operate properly. It's not acting properly, and that can be all because of the abuse factor that came along through this process. So these are some things that you need to be aware of. We're going to get down to some of the things that you need to be aware of, and we're going to run through this. We're almost finished. We ain't going to get back into the pedophile. We know we already talked about pedophilia, men that sometimes have abused people that need sexual release. They get into that, and we talked about, we didn't talk about this, but in the Catholic Church you see a lot of that. Men sexually abusing these young boys. because they, in that religion, they are not supposed to marry. So how are they going to get their release? Because they still got feelings too.
That's right.
Right or wrong.
That's right.
So they feel if they get these young boys that are submissive and trying to learn about quote unquote God per se and learn the right way of the Catholic Church, then they see it's all right for them to be abused. He's the father. He's over me. He's in the church. It's okay. You see, and then as they get older, these things take effect on their minds and on their lifestyle because they really don't know who they are. And then as you have seen year after year, these guys, as they get 20, 30 years old, they finally come up and say, yes, I was abused by somebody in the church. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So pedophiles, they're out there. Be very careful. And now pedophiles don't always have to be men. There are some women pedophiles out there as well that take abuse of boys as well. So don't think that they're not out there. Women do it too. But a young boy, we talked about this briefly on Tuesday, young boys may think that it's a turn on that he's getting with an older woman. Oh man, I'm 12, I had a girl 25. What are you gonna do? He probably still soft as a loaf of bread. You know, but that's a sign of abuse because that woman is taking advantage of him for her gratification. That's right. That's right. Oh, good God, I'm sorry. All right, okay, let's go down to the myth about the boys that are abused. And then we're going to get into how do we deal with the effects and then problems men relate. And that's it. And we'll be out of here. That'll be it.
Boys and men can be sexually used or abused.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with how masculine they are.
That's right. That's right.
If a boy liked the attention he was getting or get sexual aroused doing abuse or even something or sometimes wanted the attention or sexual contact, this does not mean he wanted or liked it being manipulated or abused, or that any part of what happened in any way was his responsibility or fault.
And we talked about that.
And the same thing, the thing that just came in was back to the story.
Yes.
Even though he wanted their attention and employment, but the way it happened, he disagreed.
He disagreed with it. That's right. Absolutely.
Sexual abuse harms boys and girls in ways they are similar and different, but equally harmful.
That's correct.
The sexual abuse of boys has nothing to do with an abuse sexual orientation. A boy abused by a male is not necessarily gay.
That's right.
Nor was he abused, nor was his abuse because he's gay, nor can the abuse make him gay.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's good. Girls and women can sexually abuse boys.
That's right.
The boys are not lucky, but exploited and harmed.
That's right. That's right. We just talked about that.
Most boys who are sexually abused would not go on to sexually abuse others.
And the reason for that is the way if they come into a knowledge or get around people that they can get release that from them, they will not become an abuser. Also, if they release that, then they will no longer have an identity crisis, or they will no longer be confused. But as long as that stays within them, that problem will escalate. And it'll get worse and worse as it goes on in time, and they may become an abuser because if the release is not there to release this to somebody and get that healing, then no, they're going to be confused and they ain't going to know. But if they do, they won't abuse anybody because they know the harm it came to them, and they don't want to put that harm on anybody else. All right, so that's so true. All right, we just want to run through a few of these. How do men deal with the effects of molestation? Usually drugs, alcohol abuse, suicidal thoughts. We talked about this earlier. Flashbacks, invasive thoughts, the suicidal thoughts. Remember talking about that? Nightmares, insomnia, anger, anxiety, depression, and have mood swings. All right, these are the effects of it on a young boy. He may not demonstrate that at a young age, but as he gets older, teenage years, these are the consequences of the molestation as he gets older. Guilt, shame, we talked about it. Mental health, illness, and things of that nature. Humiliation, fear, numbness, sense of loss, helplessness. Here we go back to the isolation part, alienation, low self-esteem. Here he comes again. Self-doubt, diminished self-belief, difficulty with relationships and intimacy, problems related to masculinity and gender identity. There it goes again. And questions and difficulties related to sexuality. There it is. There are all the effects right there that can affect a young boy if he's affected when he's younger. As he gets older, these are going to be effects on him that he's going to have problems with in his life because of that molestation that happened when he's very young. If he does not learn how to forgive, if he's not first willing to release that to somebody somebody can hold his confidence, and that will be there to love him and care for him and not be there to judge him and to put him down, but there to support him, then he can get healing, and then this will not affect him for the rest of life. He'll be able to get over that. But if he not, it's not going to happen. All right, and deal with the last thing here, Brother Dwight, and then we're gonna end it out on that.
Problems related to being a man.
Yes.
I'm gonna go dig down pressure.
Dude, just do the whole thing, brother, because this is deep.
Men who have experienced child sexual abuse or sexual assault not only have to deal with these problems, but a set of difficulties, especially created by our society.
That's right.
Limited gender expectations.
Yes.
Below is a list of problems that men who have been subject to sexual violence often confront and related to the gender expectation of what a man should do or be in our community.
Yes.
Sexual abuse or sexual assault can lead to
here we go.
pleasure to prove his manhood.
Oh my God.
And that's why you see so much violence.
There it is. There it is. That's right.
Physically, by becoming bigger, stronger, and meaner by engaging in dangerous or violent behavior.
That's right.
Sexually, by having multiple female sexual partners, by always appearing up forward and sexual in control.
Yes.
Wow. Confused over gender and sexual identity.
All right.
Sense of being inadequate as a man.
Yes.
Sense of lost power,
that we talked about that
control, and confidence in relation to manhood.
Good God, I'm sorry.
Problems with closeness and intimacy.
Yeah.
Wow. Sexual problems.
Yes.
Fear that the sexual abuse has caused or will cause him to become homosexual or gay.
Yes.
Homophobia. Fear or intolerant of any form of homosexuality.
There you go. Good God, man. Those things, and I hope you listen to that, and I hope you listen to what Brother Dwight said. And I'm going to go through it very, very quickly because this is very important. We as men, and we have been lessons when we were very young, it creates a problem for us as being a man. That's why a lot of us men are told to hold things in. Because we don't want another man or our parents or whoever's around us don't want us to be shamed. We don't want our pride to be hurt. So a lot of things that we as young boys may go through, we're going to hold that in our hearts probably to the day we die. And that's going to affect us through trying to prove we are a man. And that's what Brother Dwight said about we have to go out and prove it by violence. Okay, that's why 95% of the crimes committed in the country today are committed by men. Because of deep wounds of trauma that has happened in the past that have not been healed. They have not released it, so that follows them through the rest of their life, and then they either end up in the graveyard or they end up behind bars. Either way. Good God from Zion. Sexually, like you said before, we always trying to prove that we the ladies' man, we the mandingo, we Mr. Macho. Okay, because we're trying to prove to ourselves so we can try to get that confusion of identity out of our minds that I'm a man. I already had all these. I had these women. I slept with 100 men. You know, I remember when Will Chamberlain was around. He used to play for the Lakers. He said he had slept with 200 or 300 women. You see what I'm saying? But so that tells me he had an identity problem.
Who we were.
That's right.
So he had to continue to have sex.
He had to continue to have sex. Just to prove. That's right. That's right. Same thing with Magic Johnson before he got the AIDS. He had slept with so many women. Why? Because there's an identity problem there. There's some kind of confusion. There's something going on within him that he has not confronted to this day. It's still deep in there. But then the AIDS he had to be exposed to the AIDS, and that had to come out. That he slept with all these women. But see, that does not mean that he has dealt with that thing yet. You see what I'm saying? Right. If he had not released it to get the complete healing from God, then it's still going to be bothering him.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Good God. Confusion. We ain't got to go through the other ones because we already talked about that. Man, this has been such a powerful broadcast. I want to say one more thing. Sexually molested, if a boy out there has been sexually molested as a boy, there's a long road to healing, all right? And that healing will come, but it's going to take some time. It's going to come through forgiveness. You as parents, it's your job and as guardians to help that young boy. If he needs help or seek help or he wants to talk to another man, 9 times out of 10, that young boy is not going to talk to another woman. 9 times out of 10, he ain't going to talk to another man.
That's right.
But if is there equal